So welcome to today Wednesday, and I want to see what we can expect maybe for XAU and maybe GU and also EU. So we start from the weekly time frame. I did clear everything that I've been having, starting afresh. So what we can see we have over here is this weekly fair value gap. But you can see currently the market it's showing no sign of maybe retracing back into it because we kinda are above the opening price of this weekly candle, right? We had this lower week that created the immediate rebalance that to me were the context areas of which I have been watching. So we had this weekly immediate rebalance which has been traded into. I want these to be really short, I want to be too long. So we have the weekly immediate rebalance, right, of which we have reacted off, and the market seems to be rejecting higher, and we have that weekly fair value gap that is yet to be traded into. So we have it at the bottom right, and I usually want to have it at pink, right? So that's the first context area, and our second context area of the weekly time frame, we have this weekly FEG that currently not looking to really to be traded into. A good example that we've been talking about is this scenario, right? We had this fair value gap, the market rallied higher. With this candle, we didn't really tap into this fair value gap, but we created an immediate rebalance and we displaced above. Same to this scenario, we had a fair value gap confirmed around this area. The market didn't really sting into the fair value gap. We created an immediate rebalance, we rallied higher. Then the next week, we rallied lower to sting into that fair value gap. So I'm also seeing the same, but the same might be happening, but we need more confirmation. We just can't jump into conclusion knowing that that is the thing that will be happening. So this is the previous week's high. If the market is indeed going higher, then that's what we will be targeting to see the market rally to. So the weekly high, we have the context area, which is the weekly IR from which the market is reacting, and now we need lower time frame structure to confirm to us that whatever we are seeing or whatever we are anticipating of the weekly time frame is also being in alignment with the lower time frame. So visibility should be below, right, current and below. So now we can drop onto the daily time frame, trying to see what we are seeing also. So from the daily time frame, we have this daily fair value gap that has been fully filled, and what we are seeing yesterday, we did push higher, rejected off the sweep of the daily candles high, and now what we're seeing with this current candle, we opened rally lower, created the lower wick, then we are seemingly displacing above that level. But I think from the daily we don't have nothing really much, but the fair value gap is yet to be traded into. The IR has been traded into. We are currently not really respecting this bullish fair value gap because this candle didn't close above it. What we're seeing, if this candle closes then above it, then we can expect as of tomorrow and Friday to rally higher. But as of now, we need more confirmation of the lower time frame structure around this area to confirm indeed we are expecting higher prices, or maybe we can anticipate maybe a wicking to drop maybe towards all these lows. So before even the market reaches the previous week's high, we have this previous day's high, which I usually love it because I love having it there, because if you consider what happened yesterday, we took that high, the previous day's high, then we did reject. So today we might also see the same, but I'm not saying that we will be sweeping and then we reject as yesterday did happen. You can see yesterday we cleared the previous day highs, then we rejected. We didn't sweep all these liquidities. It seems we have lots of liquidities resting below here, and also if we try to go onto the lower time frames, we're noticing that we're having a bullish right there. So we have the previous All right, so we have that PDH that if indeed we can we need to go higher, then that's what we will be reaching for, and then maybe we can also anticipate to see the weekly high being the next draw on liquidity. But off this level, what we saw is the market created all these. We are having higher highs. We are disrespecting bearish fair value gaps by candle closing above them. And see, in this case scenario, we disrespected that. This candle closed above it. We swapped the next day's high. We rejected as of yesterday. The market dropped, and if I use my fib tool from this low to the high, indeed price had dropped to the OTE levels, as what I'm seeing. It's too sunny. Right. All right. Okay, so what we're seeing over here is that the market had already retraced into the OTE levels of this price leg from the high to the low. We dropped to the OTE and we displaced, and that displacement, you can't compare the displacement going higher with the displacement of price going lower, right? We had a few candles, we had a consolidation over here, and also we formed a bullish engulfing candle with a candle sweep. We had that candle sweeping the previous candle's low and also closed above the opening and the closing price of the previous candle. So to me, it seems that we are in a bullish structure because we have already created an order block. Also, this candle will be closing in the next 1 hour 15 minutes. So is it likely that we might continue higher? My first target, and then because we have already utilized this order block, the next maybe high we can target after this one will be this one, then later on this one, and then finally we can deliver to that high. Also, the 1 hour time frame, what are we seeing there? We're seeing bullish structure, the market forming bullish prices, a drop to the OTE from this high to that low, and then we are displacing fair value gaps being respected. Also the OTE of this price leg, we have this possible next maybe 1 hour fair value gap, of which I will anticipate to see if it will be formed, and then we can engage with prices going higher. We have 8:30 a medium impact news event, so I want to see whether we will be confirming that 1 hour fair value gap, so that as of the 9 AM candle we might stick into it and then we continue higher. But we can see we have structure, we have market structure shift happening or another block being formed. The market rallied deeper into that, but again we are respecting that. Also, we have this sweep of liquidities happening. If I have this into consideration to see major liquidity pools, so we can see over here the market rallied during Asia session. We swept the previous day New York session, and then we pushed higher, and Asia sessions low were taken I guess during the 1 AM candle, swept the Asia session and also the New York close, yesterday's New York close, and then we are pushing higher. We have these liquidities as well as these other New York session liquidities. So I think, to me, for gold, I'm leaning more of bullish with this the first target, and then all these liquidities being taken, then maybe anticipating to see whether we might see price delivering to that previous week's high. So my anticipation will be formation of a fair value gap with the next 1 hour candle. Right, I need this curve. If we go to the 30 minutes, do we have a 30 minutes fair value gap? Yeah, possibly maybe this fair value gap, something like that. Then we might push towards the upside. So something like that, we have these 15 minutes fair value gap overlapping at this point. We have also 15 minutes fair value gap being respected. So my main thing is how the next 1 hour candle will be printing. So around this level, if we create an immediate rebalance and we show some rejections going higher, then I might engage. But if we also consolidate to confirm that 1 hour fair value gap, then I want to see the next 1 hour, the 9 a.m. 1 hour candle to this place above. So that's what I'm expecting for gold. And now let's see what EU and GEO has. This trade I talked about yesterday was a good trade, but I did close it before even the rally lower. So was a good analysis, but a good trade outlook, good entry, but not to standard due to my micromanaging. Trying to micromanage to maybe minimize my losses led me to close this position in a loss, but to me everything was clean and sweet. Can't really have more complaints because I closed it at a small loss, which really doesn't matter. Now we can get rid of everything so that we may start afresh off the weekly time frame. A quick one. So what are we having from the weekly time frame? If the market really needs to go higher, we had this weekly fair value gap that had already been traded into right there. So we had this weekly fair value gap that has already been traded into. Weekly FEG, right? And if the market was to go lower into the FEG, because it had already been traded, we wanted to see how price reacts towards around the weekly low. So I'll have that as red to ensure to mark up that the weekly low has been taken. And if the market is bullish, then what we can target is this weekly high right there. All right, so we have this previous week's high top right, then we have this previous week's low that has already been taken. So previous week's low, my emoji, yeah, this is what represents liquidity sweep. So if I say that, I know that the previous week's low has been taken. After saying that, we need to drop onto the lower time frame to see the reactions at that moment in time. So of the daily time frame, we are seeing price not really moving, not really showing anything really great. But what we can notice is we are having these candles sweeping the previous candle's low, rejecting higher, closing inside the liquidities. Also this one swept the low, closed inside the liquidity. The same with this, swept the liquidities inside the rejection, inside the liquidity, until now where we haven't really swept that low. But what we're seeing within 8-9 hours, we're seeing that candle pushing higher. And what I can also see is we have this daily fair value gap yet to be traded into, and the order block here after the sweep of liquidities is being respected because the market sang into that and displaced going lower. So really nothing really much from the daily time frame. We need more of maybe the 4 hour, because to me the daily isn't really clear. But what we can see is the market seems to be bearish going lower, though the weakness is getting weaker and weaker going lower, because we have already swept this major liquidity pool in the previous week's low, and we are in a level whereby we anticipate a rejection of that. So I need in these case scenarios, we need more confirmations to see whether we are going higher, and that's why you need maybe a pair that is more cleaner compared to this other one until the market is clear. So of the 4-hour time frame, the market has been really bearish, pushing higher to the OTE levels. We're rejecting lower, push back into these 4-hour fair value gaps. We are dropping, creating market structure shift. We have these around this level, we have a 4-hour fair value gap. Inside the range. All right, so what I'll do is ensure that this weekly FEG, we have it at that moment in time, right there, so that we know that we are already inside that fair value gap. And also this one can be over here, because already we know we have already swept that weekly low. If the market needs to be going lower, then what we can target is the previous also to know that it's not really clear, so we should be in a 50-50 scenario. We are in a 50-50 scenario, therefore we need to take care and most probably avoid trading at these case scenarios. So we had inside price had already traded into that 4-hour bearish fair value gap, of which we could anticipate maybe a drop of going lower. And what we are seeing, this candle disrespected it. Then the next candle, we have swept the 4-hour candles high, which can be the 2-candle rejection. Then if we show any signs going lower, then this is what we can be targeting. But also we need to see OTE levels from the high to the low. Market hasn't really repriced to the premium levels, because if we want to sell, remember, we want to be selling off the premium levels. So we had also this 1-hour fair value gap that was traded into, and yeah, I will be watching what the market will be doing around this area. If we don't really have any signs to be dropping, then I will be out for EU. We are really ranging, so we need patience, because we are not displacing with fair value gaps around this point in time. This price action isn't really clean compared to this other price action over here, whereby we had fair value gaps being formed. Currently no fair value gap either going higher or going lower, so that's a sign of not really looking that nice. But if we see fair value gaps leading to fair value gaps, then we can so I think more confirmation is needed. We need to wait and see the GBP news, how that will affect the market. But if we go to the GBP looks so heavy going lower, right? All right, so this is the weekly outlook that we have been having. If I try to get rid of internal markups, all right, we try to clean up somehow. currently within that range. And of the 4-hour time frame, what we're seeing is this high. We are creating lower high. Let's see, EU, lower high, same to that, and GBPUSD looks more really going downside. So we have the lower lows, we have the value that has been created that are currently being suspected with this candle are displacing lower. We have to that weekly low, and now what could attract the market going lower will, I think, be the lows that have been created this low. That's where the market will go first, and then maybe later on towards this weekly value gap. But as of now, we are displacing nicely, forming that 4-hour fair value gap has 59 minutes before it closes. But also we have GBPUSD ends at around in 30 minutes time. So we observe the 30 minutes time frame, 1-hour time frame. The structure looks bearish. Fair value gaps, market structure shift. We have this target which happens to be the Asia, the London lows, which to me I'm really expecting to see that being traded into. I'm expecting to see that to be traded into the London lows, and the 1-hour fair value gap over here hasn't really been traded into. So we have that 1-hour FVG. That is yet to be traded into. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, I think will be confirmed by that 4-hour fair value gap same. So it's a 1-hour fit 4-hour fair value gap. Right, so slash 4-hour FVG. So we have the news in 30 minutes, GPP news. So are we likely to see that news pushing higher, because we also have those fair value gaps being left open? So I will be trying to trade after the news during the next 4-hour candle to see whether we might be showing any signs to deliver into that 4-hour fair value gap, and then we continue lower. So the most the pair that I will be looking for between EU and GU will be GU, because GU looks the cleaner pair going lower, because you also can see we have an SMT that has been confirmed at this moment in time. So the 22 p.m. has been swept with all these highs. So we have a higher high that has been created, so meaning EU is more stronger going higher. So 5 a.m. swept the 22 yesterday p.m. But for GPP, you can see we are having the 5 p.m. not being swept by 22. So here is the 5 a.m. high, hasn't really been swept by the 22. Where is the 22? Right there. What we have is a lower high, so which is an SMT favoring GBPUSD. So I will be watching more of GBPUSD, and what I want really to see is market retracing back into this gap. Yeah, I want to see something like this, maybe as of the next 4-hour candle. Yeah, something like that, going lower. So that's what I will be trying to look for if the market just displaces without rallying back. But because of the 30 minutes, I think the GPP news in the next 30 minutes we might see a pullback towards this range, then later on we can be expanding towards the lower side. So that is it. That's what I will be watching. Or if we maybe react of these bearish fair value caps, then I will maybe not anticipate this fair value cap to be traded into. But since they have not really been traded into, I think it's a reason, it's something that these market makers know what they're doing. They're leaving them being open so that they may be traded into. Then people thinking that the market is going long, but the real intentions are going short. So that is it. That's what I'm expecting, and nothing really much. For gold, I think I will be focusing more on gold. Then number 2 will be GBP, and then EU is out of the equation for now. So we have that 30 minutes fair value cap being confirmed, and we have GBP news. So I'm expecting this 1 hour candle to consolidate, so that the next one, if we have that fair value cap being formed, we might push prices going higher. So I'm longing gold, I'm trying to short GBP unless otherwise. So that is it. See you next time. Be safe.